If you are planning to fly into or out of the United States, or if you hold a U.S. visa, a green card, or any immigration status, then what I am about to tell you could directly affect your next trip. Starting December 26th, the United States government rolled out one of the most significant airport immigration overhauls in recent history. Travelers across America are being stopped, scanned, and screened in ways they never expected. And it is not just international visitors. Even lawful permanent residents and green card holders are affected. Stay with me until the end of this video. I will explain exactly what changed, who is affected, what you need to prepare, and what this means for your future travel plans. Welcome back to Global Immigration Scope, your trusted source for accurate, up-to-date immigration news from around the world. I'm glad you're here. Today we are covering a major U.S. immigration development that has left many travelers surprised and confused at American airports. This update comes directly from official government sources, including the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, U.S. Customs and Border Protection, also known as CBP, the U.S. State Department, and USCIS, the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services. We will break everything down in plain, simple English so you know exactly where you stand. Let's get into it. On December 26, 2025, the U.S. Department of Homeland Security officially launched a sweeping expansion of its immigration screening program at American airports and ports of entry. At the center of this change is a new biometric entry-exit system, a program that now requires facial photographs and biometric data to be collected from nearly all non-U.S. citizens when they enter and when they leave the United States. But that is not all. Alongside biometrics, the U.S. government has also expanded immigration enforcement inside airports, meaning that TSA officers and ICE agents are conducting more identity checks, status verifications, and in some cases, detaining travelers, even at boarding gates. This has come as a shock to many travelers who are used to routine checks. Reports are coming in from airports across the country about longer lines, more questions, and increased anxiety among international travelers and immigrants alike. The new measures are part of the Trump administration's broader push to tighten immigration enforcement and national security using advanced technology and data. The government says these changes are designed to detect fraudulent documents, track visa overstays more accurately, strengthen border security, deter fraud and frivolous immigration claims. According to CBP Acting Executive Assistant Commissioner Diane J. Sabatino, and I am paraphrasing here, this new biometric rule is a major milestone in implementing the long-standing biometric entry-exit mandate and strengthening U.S. security. The core biometric rule took effect on December 26, 2025. However, CBP expects a phased rollout, starting with major airports first, then expanding to land and seaports over the next 3 to 5 years. Other related changes, including expanded social media screening and new vetting procedures, have been rolling out since late 2025 and will continue into 2026. This is critical. Listen carefully. All non-U.S. citizens arriving at or departing from the United States, including visa holders, green card holders, and foreign nationals on work permits. Green card holders from 19 flag countries face additional scrutiny under a separate policy memorandum. H-1B workers and H-4 dependents now face expanded social media screening as part of the visa process. Asylum seekers have been blocked from using the CBP One app for domestic flights. Even children under 14 and seniors over 79, who were previously exempt from biometric collection in many settings, are now included in the new rule. U.S. citizens may opt out of the biometric process by presenting a valid U.S. passport. Let me now walk you through the key details you must know. Every time a non-U.S. citizen enters or leaves the United States, their face will now be scanned and photographed by CBP officials. These images are matched against government records and, importantly, stored for up to 75 years. This is the first time in history that biometrics are being used systematically at departure, not just arrival. Previously, departure records were inconsistent. Now they will be captured and used as official evidence of your travel history. Since December 15, 2025, the State Department has expanded its online presence review to include H-1B visa applicants and H-4 dependents. This means applicants must now disclose their social media usernames and ensure their accounts are set to public during the visa adjudication process. A proposal from CBP could go even further, potentially requiring travelers from 42 countries to submit up to 5 years of social media history, along with phone numbers, email addresses, and family member names as part of the ESTE application process. This is one of the more surprising developments. According to reports, the Transportation Security Administration, the TSA, has been providing ICE, the Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency, with the names of airline travelers several times per week. ICE then cross-checks that list against its deportation databases and can send agents to the airport to detain individuals. This has already led to real-world cases of travelers being detained mid-journey. The CBP One app, which was previously used by asylum seekers and migrants to board domestic flights while waiting for their court cases, has now been banned for this purpose by TSA. The only exception is for those leaving the country voluntarily or being transferred under official proceedings. On December 5, 2025, USCIS announced the creation of a new USCIS vetting center in Atlanta. This center will use law enforcement and intelligence resources to screen both pending and previously approved immigration applications, particularly for applicants from countries flagged under President Trump's travel proclamations. So what does all of this mean for you, practically speaking? For international travelers and tourists, expect longer processing times at U.S. airports. Have all your documents, passport, visa, hotel bookings, return tickets, ready and organized. Be prepared for facial scanning at both entry and exit. For green card holders, especially those from the 19 flagged countries, keep your documents fully updated. Monitor any communications from DHS or USCIS. If you are traveling internationally, consult with an immigration attorney first. Make sure there are no pending issues with your status that could trigger a secondary inspection. For H-1B workers and visa holders, build extra time into your travel schedule before and after international trips. Employers should be aware that discrepancies between travel documents, visa records, and CBP databases can now trigger referrals to secondary screening, meaning your employee may face delays returning to work. For asylum seekers and mixed status families, the airport environment has changed significantly. Immigration attorneys are actively advising many clients to avoid domestic air travel where possible and to always carry valid government-issued identification. For those with pending applications, expect delays. USCIS is conducting comprehensive re-reviews of applications, including ones that were previously approved, for people from certain nationalities who entered the U.S. after January 20, 2021. New biometrics, interviews, or requests for additional evidence may be issued. One area of concern raised by civil rights groups is that facial recognition software has a documented higher error rate for certain ethnic groups. This could result in misidentification cases, and travelers should be aware of their right to request clarification if they are flagged incorrectly. Looking ahead, here is what we can reasonably expect. First, the biometric system will expand. CBP has a 3 to 5 year plan to roll this out to all land and sea ports of entry, not just airports. The digital surveillance of travel will become more comprehensive over time. Second, the list of countries under travel restrictions is expected to grow. The Secretary of Homeland Security has already signaled that the current list of around 19 countries could expand to more than 30 countries under a revised presidential proclamation. Third, social media vetting will likely become more formalized. The proposal to require 5 years of social media history for travelers from 42 countries is still in review, but if approved, it will represent a dramatic expansion of pre-travel screening. Fourth, more legal challenges are expected. Civil liberties organizations are already raising concerns about the scope of data collection, potential bias in facial recognition technology, and the rights of lawful residents. Court rulings in the coming months could modify or pause some of these measures. The bottom line from a policy perspective, the U.S. immigration system is undergoing one of its most significant technological and enforcement transformations in decades. Travelers, employers, and immigration professionals must all adapt to a new reality where data, biometrics, and real-time database checks are central to every international journey. Starting December 26, 2025, the United States has launched a mandatory biometric entry-exit system at airports, requiring facial scans for all non-U.S. citizens entering and leaving the country. TSA is now sharing traveler data with ICE. Social media screening has expanded to H-1B holders. The CBP One app is no longer valid for domestic flights, and a new USCIS vetting center is actively reviewing both pending and previously approved immigration applications. If you or someone you know is traveling to or from the United States, or holds any form of immigration status, please share this video with them. Being informed is your first line of protection. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, drop your questions in the comments below, and make sure you are subscribed so you never miss an important update. Thank you for watching Global Immigration Scope. Stay informed and subscribe for the latest immigration news and visa updates from around the world.